This is 7 News, the voice of the New England.
Tonight, farmers and local leaders hit out at the federal government over water buybacks.
The Rural Fire Service prepares for a dangerous summer of bushfires.
I'm Daniel Gibson. Later on this news hour, the driver in that horror crash that killed 5 teens sentenced to 12 years behind bars. And Border Force on high alert, the blunt warning to deter boats.
7 News begins now.
Good evening. Farmers and local leaders are hitting out against the federal government tonight after the passing of the Murray-Darling Basin Plan yesterday.
In the midst of dry conditions, farmers say taking water away from the land will greatly impact the agriculture industry and kill country towns.
The Restoring Our Rivers Bill passed through the Senate yesterday, and it has sent shockwaves through the communities of regional New South Wales.
It's an angry day. It makes you want to get in there and fight and stand up for what we believe in and what we do.
The Greens and crossbenchers struck a deal with the Labor government to revoke the caps on voluntary water buybacks, purchasing an additional 450 gigalitres of water back into the environment. Farmers say any water taken from the environment is a major blow to the agriculture industry.
1 megalitre produces 50,000 kilos of potatoes, 57,000 apples, 22,000 serves of rice. So you do the maths out on that. That's what isn't going to be produced.
We're less viable as far as producing fodder and producing food for the population of Australia and export.
That loss of production could significantly impact areas west of our region. The Namoy River catchment falls within the Murray-Darling Basin.
Let's remember that this is all about those farmers, those irrigators that want to sell their water. For those who are productive and have a great business going, they don't have to do a thing.
But the members of the opposition claim water buybacks could lead to economic losses in many regional towns.
It's all around a bad idea. Bad for the social advancement and the social fabric of regional towns. Bad for the economic requirements of regional areas.
From here, farmers and irrigators want to see better systems in place to protect those who will have water taken away.
We're calling on the New South Wales Premier Minns, to actually step up to the plate now and actually go into battle for New South Wales communities.
Rex Quayle, 7 News.
Hundreds of paramedics across the region are no longer registered to provide clinical health care. From midnight last night, members of the Health Services Union did not renew their registrations as they continue to fight for more pay.
Paramedics across the region, a part of the Health Services Union, have gone ahead with their boycott of renewing registrations. Midnight was the cut-off.
This is not something we wanted to bring to the table. We told the government we were going to do it some 3 months ago, if we didn't get some recognition.
Registrations are required every year, acknowledging them as qualified paramedics in the field. But more than 1,900 New South Wales paramedics have not gone ahead with it, taking industrial action.
On the back of our shirts currently we have unregistered paramedic, and we're going to do another run of shirts coming this Monday. We'll have New South Wales ambulance driver on it.
From today, they are unregistered, but there is a grace period of 31 days. It will restrict their ability to administer clinical work from January 1. HSU members say it's up to the state government to decide what skills they can implement on the job next year.
The ball is in their court from here on in. What skills are we allowed to implement or not implement?
Paramedics across the state, including those in our own backyard, have been calling for a 20% pay rise equal with their Queensland counterparts.
Our door is open to negotiation, but we're making it very clear to the government that anything less than parity with Queensland is a pay cut to us.
HSU members held a meeting with Health Minister Ryan Park this morning. The union says the state government is pushing for an arbitration system where an independent body will be brought in to resolve the dispute.
That arbitration committee will be paid for by the government. So you get what you pay for, don't you, Mr Minns?
7 News contacted the Health Minister's office, but they declined to answer our questions. Rachel Holdsworth, 7 News.
The Rural Fire Service is preparing for a busy summer as the region is predicted to face an increase in fire risk. Large amounts of grass fuel and El Niño conditions are the cause of the above fire potential.
After a couple of wet weeks, the New England region is set to endure a harsh bushfire season. That's according to the National Council for Fire and Emergency Services, which listed the region as one likely to experience an increased risk of fires. As the summer heats up, it's all systems go for the Rural Fire Service.
We've had some nice widespread rain. That will certainly dry out very quickly and shortly. So we are certainly back into our usual summer preparations.
With an increased risk of fire, the message for those living rurally is to prepare to leave safely and in a timely manner.
Prepare, so have a bushfire survival plan in place, so know what you're going to do in the event of a fire.
It's also important to prepare your property before it's too late.
Preparing your property, so mowing around it, putting in fire breaks, clearing away fallen limbs, leaves and those sorts of things.
Preparing your property is also advised for those living in more densely populated areas.
Having the gas bottles pointing away from the house, so if they do vent, they vent away from the house. Make sure our gutters are clean.
Mr Beck says most of the blazes fire and rescue crews handle within the Tamworth area have been lit intentionally.
A lot of them are malicious fires. So, people playing with matches. We really need to start educating a bit better at the moment.
Hugh Pearson, 7 News.
Walker residents are feeling let down after they met with the New South Wales Department of Planning over wind turbines. More than 150 locals gathered last night to voice their concerns over Walker Energy Project's plans for the Ruby Hill and Winterbourne wind farms. The state government is looking to expand its renewable energy projects in the town, but residents say there isn't enough detail. Residents have until January 27 to submit their concerns.
A trade shortage is crippling country towns and local businesses as they struggle to retain young apprentices and skilled workers. The housing market is also a major factor, the lack of availability deterring some people from moving to the regions.
Steve Harrison has owned his Corindai Smash Repairs business for 34 years. He's been feeling the heat of Australia's trade shortage, although he's trying to stay positive.
No, sometimes it's a relief. You get some guys that just haven't got it and they'll stick with you, and you get the guys that have really got it and you lose them.
A tight labour market, a cost of living crisis and a post-COVID mindset shift has led to 36% of occupations experiencing worker shortages. One of the worst is trades, and it's crippling our small towns. Infrastructure projects and businesses like Steve's are left without help.
Years ago that you get not a constant flow, but you get a few guys come in towards the end of their school years. They're just not interested today. Maybe there's better jobs out there.
More so now than ever before, in particular with the cost of living crisis that people are facing. Young workers are looking to where they can get decent pay.
Corindai's problem is compounded by few housing properties available, making it harder to attract workers to fill that void. Mayor Doug Hawkins is calling for increased TAFE funding to train up local apprentices.
The reason that we're short today is there just hasn't been enough investment in them to start with in our regions. I mean, we lose a lot of young people to the city for that reason.
We need to see greater investment in skills in our regions. We need to ensure that there are better pathways for young workers to enter into the trades in regional areas.
Rex Quayle, 7 News.
Tamworth celebrates International Day of People with Disabilities. The youthie was packed with people sharing one goal: promoting community awareness, understanding and inclusion of people with a disability.
An important day not only in Tamworth but right across the globe. The youthie was filled to the brim with people raising awareness for accessibility and inclusion for people with a disability. There were so many people there, organisers lost count.
Oh, no idea. We've got a clicker and I didn't even count. Look, we'd have over 100 people here at the moment at least.
It was an action-packed day with karaoke, wheelchair basketball and a water dunking station, all to highlight this year's theme.
Well, the theme this year is access and inclusion. So it's an opportunity to start a conversation about how do we make our community more accessible and more inclusive to people with a disability.
One way to start a conversation is through sport. Attendees were able to have a go at wheelchair basketball, something they may have never tried before.
We've just brought out the sports chairs for everyone to be able to have a go at wheelchair basketball, and it's an inclusive sport that anybody can play.
Miss Ray says she's seen firsthand how inclusive wheelchair sports can be.
So a lot of sports you can't play with your family members being in a chair, so it gives everybody that opportunity to have a game.
Miss Northey says she's happy to see inclusion and accessibility become more of a focus in the local community.
It's becoming more of a focus, which is really positive, and that's what we want, is raise awareness so that this remains part of their awareness every day of the year.
Hugh Pearson, 7 News.
Well, Danny joins us now with a look at today's weather. And Danny, we did see a couple of clouds about the place today.
We sure did. That's right, guys. Hi, everyone. Great to be with you. We did see a bit of cloud cover about, but a break from those recent showers, partly cloudy with a light breeze from the northwest. A trough is gradually crossing Queensland at the moment, which could bring some possible thunderstorm activity into northern New South Wales. But for the most part, our skies have been pretty dry, nothing in the gauge at Tamworth. Temperatures in the high 20s and low 30s. In fact, 31 degrees for Narrabri and Moree. In Inverell, you got to a top of 29, 30 degrees in Gunnedah. Tamworth, you saw a top of 29 degrees, with an overnight low of 12. There is far hotter weather on the way. In fact, one of you is now getting close to almost 40 degrees. I'll tell you when you'll need that all-important aircon a little later, guys.
40 degrees. OK, Danny. We'll see you in a couple of minutes. Thanks, mate.
Still to come in 7 News, students from the Gomeroi Academy wrap up their year with the celebration.
And primary school students learn the importance of being sustainable.
And a little later on this news hour, reactions from the families of 5 teenagers killed in that high-speed crash as the driver learns his fate. The dire warning to people smugglers after an influx of asylum seekers. And swim safety at the forefront after an alarming increase in adult drownings.
Welcome back. Sunny, the Sustainability Scout, is Tamworth Regional Council's newest mascot, and he's making his way to local schools. Today was the first launch at Dungowan Public School, where students learnt ways to help improve and care for the environment.
Worms, vegetables and recycling. The students of Dungowan Public School couldn't be more excited or informed.
It's keeping the environment healthy.
To recycle, we use what has been already used, but to make it have a new life, some people say.
For the last 3 years, Principal Kerry-Ann Hubble has been teaching the students about sustainability.
These kids are our future, so I feel confident that it's going into safe hands.
It started with just some mulch and garden beds, and now it's grown into a usable vegetable garden. They may not like all the veggies, but they love the work that goes into growing them.
We've got like tomatoes and onions. Onions, beans, tomatoes and sauce.
Students are on a roster where they do their part in the upkeep.
Weeding.
Now, Tamworth Regional Council has created a mascot, Sunny, to work with schools on educating children about how to reduce waste. The new program will integrate environmental responsibilities and sustainability into the curriculum.
Sustainability is not in isolation. It's not a silo. It's got to be, over time, a whole of community approach. And I believe that by working with the school students, they're actually so eager to learn.
But it looks like Sunny will be the one learning from the students.
We love sustainability!
Olivia Babb, 7 News.
Young Indigenous students celebrated the end of the year at Gomeroi Academy with a graduation ceremony. The program providing teens with an in-depth knowledge about their culture.
A proud day for the 13 students at Gomeroi Culture Academy, graduating after completing their 40-week program.
It's amazing. It's such an amazing opportunity for young Aboriginal people to be leaders when they're older.
The academy focuses on cultural mentorship while connecting Indigenous teenagers to their identity. The program identifies what interests the students have in order to create strong engagement.
And the reason for that is
young people are learning about what they're interested in.
15-year-old Archie Tuff and Dale Craigie, today creating a traditional song and dance.
It's like without Murray Could and connecting together.
They're proud to be Gomeroi and hope to pass that knowledge on to younger generations to come.
All the dances, the language, and just telling, say, my grandkids, just telling them where I come from, who their mob is.
For Gian Howard, the most special part has been connecting with elders and being on country.
Such an incredible bond with land and country, and to see all the different sites what our ancestors were on, and all the different artwork.
Students apply at the end of Year 8 in hopes to be chosen for the following year, even taking time out of their school holidays to attend the school. It shows their commitment and the success of the academy.
But the truth is our young people are hungry. Our young people are hungry for growth and access to knowledge and access to culture, and if we can support that and provide them safe spaces in learning, well then that is our focus.
Olivia Babb, 7 News.
Still to come in 7 News, the Tamworth boxer returns to the ring tonight in Sydney.
And the Australian Dressage Showcase kicks off without a hitch. Welcome back. After a busy 12 months, Tamworth Alac has now closed its doors for 2023. The Australian Dressage Showcase was the last major event, finishing off the year in style.
A bond like no other. Horse and rider competing as one at the 2023 Australian Dressage Showcase. Years of hard work making their routines look easy.
Dressage really is, I suppose, one of the disciplines where the relationship between horse and rider is extremely important, because you literally couldn't do without one or the other.
Competitors like Victoria Murphy know full well how important that relationship is.
It's huge. I mean, you're out there for, 7 minutes by yourself. It's just you and him. And yeah, you've got to have a really good relationship. You've got to have a good bond.
Countless hours of training now put to the test at Tamworth Alac.
A lot of years, a lot of dedication.
That commitment was on display against some of the country's best. Competitors travelling from across the East Coast for the 4-day competition.
Competitors travel from as far south as the Southern Highlands, actually a few from Victoria to as far north as Queensland, Sunshine Coast.
Today, everyone was looking for a ribbon, whilst organisers were searching for new riders.
Speak to the club members. Come this weekend to Alac. There's lots going on, and check it out. Check it all out. Come and see us and have a chat and just get the information that you need and give dressage a go.
It seems there is no better place to start than right here with the Tamworth Dressage Club.
We have some fabulous trainers in and around the Tamworth region, so a beautiful club. The Tamworth Dressage Club's located out at Moombi.
Max Gent, 7 News.
Tamworth's Pemberton Lele has fallen agonisingly short of Olympic qualification, losing his Pacific Games semi-final against Australia's Harry Garside in the Solomon Islands. The 23-year-old recently departed Tamworth's 1-2 boxing west side, returning home to the Solomons to chase his Paris 2024 dream. The referee stopping the fight early in the 3rd round.
I don't think this is going to finish. I don't think it's going to finish the round. It's over. It's over.
Pemberton's hopes to one day compete at the Olympics now up in the air, with boxing still fighting for its inclusion in the LA 2028 Games. Tamworth's Colt Northey will return to the ring tonight as part of the War on the North Shore fight night in Sydney. The young gun looking to bounce back from his last Muay Thai bout, where he lost a 4-man eliminator challenge. Tickets are still available, with the fight streamed online. The North Tamworth Bears have had no problems retaining much of their Group 4 Premiership winning squad as they search for their 9th straight competition win. Star centre John Maru putting pen to paper today, confirming his return to the club. He joins the likes of last year's best and fairest James Cooper, as well as co-captain Josh Schmiedel. Up next in 7 News, Danny's back and she's got your all-important weekend weather forecast. That's next.
Hello again, time for another look at the weather picture. The low pressure system that's been generating all that rain in southern New South Wales is gradually starting to move away now. Meanwhile, a trough is crossing from Queensland, resulting in some possible thunderstorm activity dipping into northern New South Wales tomorrow. By Sunday, high pressure will keep most of the state dry. Hot easterly winds around Monday, Tuesday, that should keep our skies clear well into the working week. Taking a look at the rainfall chart, there is just a small amount of rain left on the radar, depending on whether that storm develops near the border tomorrow. At this stage, it's barely a millimetre though, so it's possible we won't see any wet weather at all this week. Saturday is looking a little cloudy, but we should still see some sunshine. Light westerly winds in the middle of the day, temperatures reaching into the 30s for our second day of summer, 31 degrees in Scone. Tenchfield, a top of 26 degrees. On Sunday, it's a similar story with nary a cloud in sight. Temperatures climbing a few degrees more, 34 degrees in Narrabri, Gunnedah, getting to a top of 33, Armidale a top of 27 and 25 degrees for Walker. It's going to be another warm one for the start of our working week too. Winds switching to the southeast. Not much more than a breeze though as we climb into 35 degrees for Moree, 28 in Murrurundi and 24 degrees in Walker again. Taking a look at the next 7 days, and from Tuesday onwards, there's nothing but 30s on the chart really. I'm going to just bring your attention to Wednesday, 38 degrees. According to the Bureau, that's almost 10 degrees higher than this time last year, so power bills are certainly going to take a hit with that air conditioning. 37 degrees on Thursday, temperatures in the mid-teens overnight, light winds to remain throughout the whole week. Summer kicking into high gear to make up for that slow start to December, guys.
Plenty of sunshine, Danny. I'm seeing lots of sunshine there. Lovely. Thank you very much.
And that's all we have time for tonight. Thanks for watching. You can catch up on our website or, of course, at 7+.
Right now, Dan's got your national news. Enjoy your night, and we'll see you on Monday at 6 o'clock.